Game of Methuselah here. I just wanted to run another small video talking about a few things. I was so excited when somebody said, hey, turn the camera sideways. And boy, I thought, this is technology that Game of Methuselah can actually do. Somebody said that there was a subreddit that Dungeons & Dragons is not a cooperative storytelling game. And they were asking my opinion. And I was thinking, okay, so I was giving my opinion and I thought, oh, crap. They're more than likely trying to get me into an argument with Matt Colville about this, because I think his position is that it's not. But anyway, I wanted to jump in, and of course, argue with Matt Colville is always great because he's so smart. It's so much more fun to fight with him than dumb people. He's right and wrong at the same time. Dungeons & Dragons, or any role-playing system, is not cooperative storytelling. It is the gravity, the light and the darkness, the muscles, the body, the framework, the air, the trees. It's whatever the world is, and it gives you a framework that you can base your campaign on. That's why I like different game systems. I kind of like some ways that they present the world as opposed necessarily to the way that current versions of Dungeons & Dragons do. So saying, I think that really excellent role-playing games become cooperative storytelling. And to that end, I mean, there's an obligation on both parts. The game master needs to bring out a nice, compelling backstory. He has a start. He has sort of what he thinks is going to be the finish, but based upon the cooperative storytelling that goes on between the players and the DM, determines whether that happens or not. Now, many games turn out to just be murder hobo parties where, you know, you kick down the door, you toss in your fireballs, your fighters go in and kill whatever's left, you grab the loot and the magical items, you gain some experience, you get to be high level, and at some point you go, oh, well, that was interesting, and game runs out of steam. But a lot of the cooperative storytelling games can go on for a long period of time and usually have very dramatic outcomes, very dramatic endings to the campaign, and are really much more satisfying than just, you know, murdering the monsters, getting the treasure, and getting a big title at the end, and then eventually saying, hey, woo, dude, I have a high-level character, I did all this, I did all that. Again, like I said, that requires a cooperation on both ends, and that's why the storytelling part is important. Now, I can make a point very simply, and I'll do one in a game we just played. Maria Hawthorne ran a game on Ancients, where we were all descendants of the Argonauts, and I was playing a priestess of Hecate, and we were given a mission by Zeus to recover his staff and the 4 elemental gems that were required to reassemble it so that it could have its full power. Now, against us, arrayed against us, were various numbers of enemies, and most of them were descendants of the Titans who wanted to also acquire the staff so they could release their predecessors, their ancestors, their great powerful relatives from the great dungeon that they were locked in. So it was a big campaign, but it had a very limited period of time. We were only going to run 6 or 8 adventures, and at that point we would have either won or lost. And where the storytelling came in is, as Maria presented the game, we battled, you know, the fire elementals to get the fire gem, and we did all these various things throughout the campaign, and we even had to go into Hades to recover one of our dead, which was a very interesting campaign mission. But at the end, when we had 3 of the 4 gems, I went to Maria and said, look, my priestess, who now carries the staff because she's the only magic user in the party and can wield it, wishes to find out if Hecate will meet her and speak with her. And because of all I have done for her, being a priestess of Hecate, will she come and speak with me? And she did. And I said, my mother, we are about to recover the 4th element of this staff. And if you wish, I will give it to you, and not Zeus. And Maria was taken back. It was like, oh my God, I mean, I'm throwing the whole campaign into a tizzy. I mean, wasn't the plan. The plan was we go, we kill the monsters, we get the treasure, we win the staff, we give it back to Zeus, yay, campaign's over. But now I've thrown another element in there. And she thinks about it for quite a while and says, well, I would love to have the staff and the power that's associated with, but I'm afraid it would cause a war between the gods. So maybe it is best that I do not try to stand up and take a position like this, and that you should return to Zeus what is Zeus's. And I said, okay. So we went on the final mission. I asked for aid, and she gave me some guardians to come with me to make it easier for me to beat the last horrendously horrible group of monsters. So we go, we fight the last of the monsters, and we win. We gain the last elemental item and we place it in the staff. And at that point, the staff turns me into a demigod. I grow to 50 feet in height. I have the power of the gods. I can shape all the elements of the universe to my will. And all the players look at me because they already know I've had a conversation with Maria. And they're thinking, uh-oh, what's Jim up to? More importantly, what's Jim's character up to? And they know Hecate, not the nicest god in the world. So we go to Zeus's temple. And this is where we would return the staff. And we summon forth Zeus, and I shrink back to a human size because I don't want to be like, hey, I'm badass and all that. And Zeus shows up. And here's the staff. We have recovered your staff, great Lord. And I walk up to Zeus with the staff, and I said, my Lord, I will present you your staff and return it to you with one proviso. And I'm waiting now to get hit by a bolt of lightning and disintegrated. And Maria looks at me, and I said, I do not wish my mother to have to hide in the shadows anymore, not be allowed in Olympus, and her followers to skulk in the darkness. I want her to be allowed in Olympus, and I want her followers to be able to walk the earth and perform their missions for her. And I'm thinking, all right, my character's dead. It's over. And Zeus smiles and says, okay, I can live with that. In which case I give him his staff, and the campaign is over. And Maria leans over to me and says, Jim, that is why Wiccans exist to this day. And for a moment, I went, oh my God, it's all real. Now I know it's not real, and I know this didn't happen, but it felt like it just for a moment. And I told her this. I said, it has to be one of the most chilling moments I had in a game, because the thought was what I was doing was actually changing history. Now, I could come up with multiple situations like this. But the point is, it's up to the game master to provide the story and lay down the pathway on the road for which the story goes. It's up to the players to change the story, to go, wait a minute, let's add a left turn here. Let's add a right turn here. Let's do this. I mean, to argue against Matt Cofield, he did it in one of his own games. The one when he interviewed me and my undead ogre that I was running for him grabbed the female shaman or mage and hauled it off for the devious sacrifice to the dark gods. And one of the characters that got killed, as I remember correctly, was raised as a ghoul, by the bad, evil people to be a slave, to him. One of the heroes, aha, he's going to be a slave now to us. But something happened, and Matt says, you have not lost your faculties. You do not lose your memories. You are not just a mindless undead. You have all the knowledge that you had. And Matt and this guy, as far as I remember from Matt's description, for days, back and forth at work, kept playing. He'd come and talk to him on break and say, okay, can I do this? Can I do that? He's changing the game. Matt changed the game by giving him this opportunity. And that allowed there to be cooperative storytelling. Now, I don't know whether he rescued her or what the whole outcome of it was. I mean, I may have remembered it, heard it at one time, but I've long since forgot it. But the interesting part was that was cooperative storytelling. That's when the game goes beyond hack and slash and whatever in the parameters of the books to something where you will remember it for a long time afterwards. Anyhow, my opinion, so take it for what it's worth. The other thing I wanted to talk about is I was kind of surprised. A lot of feedback has been coming in on what people want to hear. And it pleases me greatly that miniature painting and collecting and speed painting and the like has come up to be pretty much the #1 item. So I will go up and clean my painting room, because right now it's a disaster. It looks like a grenade went off, and make it look presentable to the camera. And then I will hopefully by then have a little better cameras with better resolution so I can start to show you how to do speed painting. Really, we'll start with plastics. I'll show you how to do the dry brush, wash, flock-based thing. Super simple. I'll talk to you more than likely about a company that I think you should maybe consider looking into. I like these guys. I bought miniatures from them, guys. They're really tiny. They're in England. They're called Hassle-Free Miniatures. If between now and then you want to look them up on the internet, they have a lot of really interesting stuff. And they're not inexpensive because they're coming from England, and you've got that pound England dollar US thing going, plus the cost, the expensive shipping. But I think to get a few of these would be really worthwhile to get started or add to your collection. I bought a bunch of figures over the years from them. One of them is this monk who, to this day, I think is the best monk figure I've ever seen. He's in a really cool, evocative pose. It looks really neat. And I painted him in such an interesting way that I really like the character. And you can look into it. I'll find other companies. Again, I will do a Covillian type thing. Anything I tell you about is going to be stuff that I've spent my own money on. It's not a matter of anybody paying me, or of course, and even down the road, if I ever do get advertisements on my site, it'll only be products that I believe in and use. And there are a few of them that I would talk about, and I will talk about in the future. Anyway, I wanted to just finish this up and not make it as long as I actually did. So to sign off, until next time we speak, fight me devils, fight, for I hate peace.